Hi, welcome to week 3 of writing proposals and grants. It was nice to meet many of you on the optional Zoom call this week. If you weren't able to be on the call was recorded, and I'd recommend going to the Zoom section and cloud recordings and listening to the recording and description of all the requirements of this class. This week, we're going to dive into philanthropy in the U.S. So last year, $450 billion was given away. It's actually 459 billion and change, but it's close enough to 450 billion. And the majority of that money, contrary to popular belief, most of that money did not come from the corporate sector. So if you were to guess how much funding of that came from the corporate sector, I would venture to say most of you will say 30%, 40%, 50%. In reality, only 5% of that came from corporations. The vast majority of it comes from individuals. In fact, if you add together bequests, individual giving, and family foundations that are largely individually driven, you'll probably get more like 85% of funding is individually driven. So that's what you're going to dive into this week. It's really important to understand that before we go on to writing proposals and doing research on foundations. You'll also be reading one of the things I'd like to do this week is read the other two groups' ethics final summary. You don't have to read all the posts, just the final summary post. Make a comment on it and see how much you agree with what they had to say and anything new that they came up with in their analysis. You'll also be finalizing your choice of nonprofit this week. You definitely want to do the research on your nonprofits. Relative to all the questions that I've posted. And those are posted two places. It's posted in the lecture, but it's also posted on the forum where you initially began talking about your nonprofit selection. And that's the organization you'll use for most of the rest of the assignments for this class. And then thirdly, by this Monday night, hopefully you're watching this Monday morning, I need to know your top 3 choices of nonprofit executives. So I sent out an email late last week, and I gave you a link to the bios of all the nonprofit executives. So I want you to send me your first 3 plus a sentence or 2 on why you would like to work with that person. So I look forward to seeing that. Once I have all of those, I will make decisions and send out by the end of the week to you your nonprofit executive and their contact information. Please make sure to get your choices in to me. If I don't have them by Monday night, I will need to make the selection without your input. I'd prefer to have your input. As always, I'm available for questions or comments or anything that you would like a little bit of help with. Email me and we can either correspond by email or put it on the syllabus form question board, or we can set up a Zoom call if you need more, want to talk to me directly. So look forward to seeing what you have come up with relative to your ethical analyses, and have a great week.